Hello, neighbor. I'm so glad you're here in this quiet little space. Today, while tidying up a few old things, a small object caught my attention. It's this little wooden block, a very old one. It used to be part of a set of building blocks from a long time ago. You see, the corners are worn down, no longer sharp, and on this surface, there are a few little dents, probably from years of play. Maybe it was dropped or bumped against something harder than itself. Holding it in my hand, feeling the smoothness of the wood that has seen so many years, a thought came to mind. A phrase has been circling in my thoughts lately. It goes like this: there are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. And the third way is to be kind. When you first hear that, it might sound so simple, perhaps even a bit naive. Success. Success seems like such a big, complicated thing, doesn't it? It seems to require competition and strategy and a certain sharpness. How could kindness, something that sounds so soft, be the key to something so powerful? But you know, the more I look at this wooden block, the more I think about its scratches, about its steady, quiet presence through all this time. The more I feel that phrase holds something very deep, a quiet truth that we sometimes hurry past. Perhaps we can explore this a little together. These 3 ways of kindness. The first way, to be kind to others. This is probably the one we hear about the most. The one we're taught as little boys and girls. Share your toys, help a friend, say thank you. Those things are so important, so very important. But as we grow up, the world seems more complicated. Kindness is sometimes not just about the big, obvious actions. It lives in the smaller, quieter things. Near where I live, on Murray Avenue in Squirrel Hill, there's a small Italian bakery. The smell of fresh bread often fills the corner of the street each morning. The owner, Mr. Moretti, is a man with large hands and a very gentle smile. He's been baking there for 40 years. Whenever someone comes in, he doesn't just ask, "What can I get for you?" He smiles and says, "Good morning, Mrs. Harrison." The usual rye bread today. He knows people's names. He knows their stories. He knows that Mrs. Harrison has a grandson who just started at Penn State. He knows the young student named David often comes in for a chocolate croissant before a big exam for good luck. Mr. Moretti's kindness isn't that he gives away free bread. His kindness is that he gives his attention, his recognition. He makes every person who walks into that little shop feel that they are seen, that they aren't just an anonymous customer, but a part of the neighborhood, a part of his life. In this big world, we can sometimes feel so small, so invisible. Don't you think? We walk through crowds, we do our jobs, and sometimes it feels as though no one really notices that we're here, and then a small act of kindness happens. Someone holds a door for you when your arms are full of books. A coworker brings you a cup of coffee without you asking, just because you look tired. A stranger on the bus gives you a warm smile. Those things, they're like little rays of sunshine on a cloudy day. They don't change our circumstances, but they change how we feel about the world and our place in it. They whisper to us, "You are here, and I see you." What a precious gift that is. And it's a gift that any one of us can give. It doesn't cost a penny. It doesn't require any power. Just a little bit of caring, a willingness to look outside of ourselves. Just for a moment. Is that success? Maybe it doesn't look like the pictures of success we see in magazines or on television. There are no tall buildings or big numbers in a bank account. But to make another person feel less alone, to feel seen, to feel valued, isn't that a deeply meaningful accomplishment? It builds the invisible bridges between people. It weaves the fabric of a community, a neighborhood, a warmer world to live in. And the second way, to be kind. But this time, in the work that we do. This might sound a little different. Kindness and work. Work is so often about performance, results, efficiency. Where does kindness fit in? Let's go back to this wooden block. Someone made this, a woodworker, perhaps in a small shop somewhere here in Pennsylvania. They chose a good piece of wood. They carefully cut and measured and shaped it. They sanded every surface until it was smooth, safe for a child's hands. They could have done it faster. They could have used a cheaper wood or not sanded it so thoroughly. That would have saved time and money. It would have been more efficient, but they didn't. They put their care into the object. They thought about the child who would play with this block. They wanted it to be sturdy, to be lovely, to be safe. That was a quiet act of kindness, sent through their hands and their diligence to a person they would never meet. Kindness in our work is just that. It's the care for quality, the respect for the person who will use or experience the fruit of our labor. A chef doesn't just cook to fill a stomach. He cooks with kindness when he chooses the freshest ingredients, when he seasons thoughtfully, when he arranges the food to be pleasing to the eye. He wants to give the diner a joyful and delicious experience. A computer programmer writes code with kindness when she not only makes the program work, but writes it clearly and logically so that other programmers who come after her can easily understand and maintain it. She is thinking of the people who will continue her work. A street sweeper works with kindness when he doesn't just push the trash along, but carefully picks up the small pieces of broken glass from the sidewalk, so that no child or dog will be hurt. Whatever your work is, whether it's grand or simple, there is always room for kindness. It is doing that little bit more than is required, not because someone is watching or for a reward, but because it is how we show respect for our work, for others, and for ourselves. Work that is done with kindness creates things of lasting value. They carry a part of the Maker's spirit within them. Like this wooden block, though it is old, it is still here. It is still solid. It still evokes a warm feeling of care. That is also a form of success. A success measured not just in money, but in the quiet pride of a job well done, and in the trust that others place in you to build trust. That is a priceless asset. And then the third way, the one that is perhaps the most difficult of all, to be kind to yourself. We live in a world that is always telling us to try harder, be better, faster, stronger. We look at the accomplishments of others and feel that we are not enough. We make a mistake and we punish ourselves for it for days. There is a voice inside, a harsh critic. That voice is very good at pointing out all of our flaws. You should have known better. How could you be so foolish? You'll never get it right. Does that voice sound familiar? Neighbor, we can be so good at offering compassion and forgiveness to others. When a friend fails at something, we tell them, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. You did your best. But when we are the one who makes the mistake, we say the harshest words to ourselves. We forget that we are only human. We are learning too. We are trying too. We have tired days and moments of weakness too. To be kind to yourself doesn't mean being self-indulgent or lazy. Not at all. It means giving yourself permission to be imperfect. It means looking at the dents and scratches on your own wooden block, not with shame, but with acceptance. Those marks are proof that you have lived, you have loved, you have stumbled, and you have gotten back up. They are part of your unique story. Kindness to yourself is allowing yourself to rest when you are exhausted. Instead of pushing through, kindness to yourself is allowing yourself to feel sad or disappointed when you fail, and then saying to yourself, I'll do it differently next time. Today, I have learned something. Kindness to yourself is eating a nourishing meal, taking a walk in Shenley Park, breathing the fresh air, listening to the birds. It's making time for the small things that feed your soul, not just the things that fill your schedule. This is the hardest path because it requires us to face our biggest critic, ourselves. It requires the courage to quiet the voice of judgment and listen instead for another voice, a softer, more forgiving one, the voice of a good friend. And you know the wonderful thing, when we learn to be kind to ourselves, our kindness for others becomes so much more genuine and deep. We are no longer giving from an empty place, but from a full heart. We can truly empathize with the struggles of others because we have learned to have empathy for our own ultimate success. Perhaps it is not a destination at all. Perhaps it is the journey itself, the journey of learning to treat the people around us, the work that we do, and the person that we are, with an open heart and a gentle spirit. The first way, kindness to others, builds a world worth living in. The second way, kindness in our work, builds trust and lasting value. The third way, kindness to ourselves, builds peace and inner strength. All three paths, they are not really separate paths at all. They are one. They weave into and support each other. They all spring from the same source. The recognition that all life is precious, that care is a powerful thing. And that love, in all its forms, is always the answer. Looking at this little wooden block again, it's not perfect. It's old. It has scars, but it has lasted. It has brought joy, and it is still so solid so real. Perhaps ultimate success is a lot like that. Not being flawless, but being real, being sturdy, and bringing a little warmth to the world around you. Just by being you, you've made this day a special day. Just by being you, there's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. Thank you for spending this time here. I'll see you again soon. Neighbor.